Church here, and welcome to the Game Grinder, and today we're doing another pickup video, and I want to start this one out by mentioning this awesome Shantae shirt that I got made. So this isn't an official release. I found some very amazing artwork from a Japanese artist and borrowed his design to get a custom shirt made. I tried to see if there was a way that I could donate to him some way, but I couldn't find any information. I tried clicking on various links in Japanese, but alas. So, you know, it is what it is. I will show a picture so you can just kind of see it a little bit better. Absolutely love this artwork. Some of the probably best for the Shantae series. So yeah, that's neat. I have almost as many shirts for Shantae as I do Cannibal Corpse. Hey, what you gonna do though? So with that, I also picked up another shirt. This one seems to be a crowd favorite. I've been getting a lot of praise on this one, and this is my Final Fantasy X shirt. Of course, the famous Titus scene immortalized in this fine shirt here. Mostly gotten to kind of troll friends, but hey, it's pretty funny regardless. So with that said, let's check out some games here. So this first one here was kind of a luck chance that I came across this. I actually saw that Radical Reggie had shared a tweet saying, hey, head on over to Mr. Wizard's Reproductions, his Instagram account, because he was selling a few copies of the reproduction that he made for the AM2R Return of Samus remake. And this was a fan-made game that ended up getting a cease and desist and shut down by Nintendo, of course. And this guy decided to make a really neat little package to go with it. He's not associated with the fan creators. You're not paying for the ROM itself, but you're really paying for this neat packaging, which is pretty cool. Full artwork, you know, back cover, front cover, has the game disc, soundtrack, and then a really neat little just kind of instructions, kind of throwback to old days. Item descriptions with an in-game map, and these are not super common. I don't know how many he's made so far, but I was fortunate enough to get one of these for myself, so that is pretty cool. And then I got some friends and family hookups here. So I have a family member who was able to snag a couple cheap games for me. Return to Castle Wolfenstein for the Xbox. Then also got Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the Xbox, which I also have for the PlayStation 2, thanks to Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming. And then a friend just happened, we were hanging out, and he was looking at some stuff, and I mentioned that, oh, hey, yeah, I was looking for that. I need to get that at some point. I never find it with all the stuff. And he's like, you want this? And I was like, yeah, what are you selling for? He's like, nah, you can just take it. And he gave me the Prey Limited Collector's Edition. It comes with all the included things here, steel case, little figures, the art book, but not the game in this one, but, you know, easily enough replaced. I also have the PC version, the standard release PC version. And at the same time, I noticed the game on a shelf, said it was something I was looking out for, and he actually had a double of this. And this is kind of like the first visual-based role-playing game, and that is Adventure for the Atari 2600. So I have a little piece of kind of role-playing game history right here as far as I see it. It's pretty interesting looking from where games started in that genre to where they are now. Like, wow, what a change. But then again, that kind of goes with everything in the gaming industry. Then another friend hookup here. A friend told me that he had this laying around, didn't really have any use for it, asked if I wanted it, and absolutely. So unfortunately a little bit late. A couple years ago I actually did a weekend binge playthrough of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. I'd never played it before. A couple of friends were like, hey, let's get together and play it start to finish throughout the weekend, which we did. It was a long haul, and this could have helped with the playthrough instead of referring to online, but that is the GameStop exclusive Zelda Complete Puzzle Solutions Guidebook, which can be helpful for certain areas in the game, of course. And the friend that gave me the copy of Prey and Adventure mentioned he had a bunch of PlayStation games for trade, and there was a couple that I was really interested in. So actually, For the third, maybe fourth time, I actually removed something from my collection to make this trade. Things that I can probably replace a lot easier than at least one of these. But the first one here is Koldelka for the PlayStation 1. This is kind of a survival horror RPG. Heard pretty much nothing but great things about it. Never had the chance to play it myself, so really excited to get that. And another game that I've been trying to hunt down for quite some time was Vagrant Story for the PlayStation 1. And this actually takes place in the same realm as Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII. So that's pretty neat. And happy to add these PlayStation games to my collection, because of course I love the PlayStation 1. Then on to some games I actually paid for. First one here being Shadow of the Colossus Special Edition. This was something that I pre-ordered the moment that I heard it was coming out. Of course, a remake of the original Shadow of the Colossus, mostly just in visual style. Fantastic game, holds up great, especially with the new coat of paint, and still an absolutely amazing game. I love Team Ico. Then the next game here is probably one of the most debated games of 2018 in terms of its quality, whether it is quality or it is not, and that is the Secret of Mana remake, of course, remake of the original Super Nintendo classic. The remake, I've shared my thoughts on it many times on the podcast and here and there. I loved it. Is it better than the original? No, but as a remake, really this is how I think they should be done. Of course, I love the original, it's on my shelf, and love the remake as well. Then not too long ago, Square Enix had another one of their crazy Square Enix sales where they sell a bunch of stuff on their online store dirt cheap, so I decided to pick up a couple things. Of course, a lot of the really cool stuff was already sold out by the time I got there, but I found a few. First one here being Lara Croft in the Temple of Light. Now I already have the physical PC version of this, physical PC version and this PS4 physical version. Actually, neither come with game discs, they both just download codes, but I figured what the heck, it was only a few bucks, so more stuff to my Tomb Raider collection is always a cool thing. And then the only other thing I grabbed for crazy cheap, I think this was 20 bucks, was the Deus Ex Mankind Divided Collector's Edition. Kind of a goofy shaped box. I did not do an unboxing video for this one, but it comes with a statue, steelbook, art book, kind of your standard fare. I've heard this game was pretty great. I actually never finished the original reboot, I guess, the Human Revolution, but I hope to get to the series again sometime and give them another go. So then to some non-game stuff, but game-related, because goodies and shelf candy are always great to have. So the first thing from this bunch is the Queen of Pain Figma Nendroid from Good Smile Company. I already took it out of the package and have it on the shelf, so I will show a picture of that. And what does that mean? Not much. This is a character from Dota 2, the Valve MOBA game, kind of like League of Legends. And really the main reason I got this was I did enjoy playing as this character, but actually the top half of my tattoo sleeve is of an artist-inspired picture of the character. It's not that I loved the character, but I loved the art, and that's where I ended up getting my half-sleeve tattoo for. So I already had one figure, I was like, why not add another one? Then this thing was like shockingly cheap. I think I got this for like $5. I went to a random comic book store with a friend just to kind of kill some time and hang out and find some stuff to do, and they actually had kind of this little collection of import figures, and I checked them out, of course. Saw a few video game related ones. Might have to stop back there in the future. But then I saw this one and I was like, whoa, for that price, like I can't leave this store without this. And what it is it seems like there's a series of Xenosaga figures, mostly based on the Cosmos character, various outfits and color variants. And this was a 2-pack, and this is the Xenosaga Legends Episode 1 and 2 Best, whatever that means. So they have a bunch of other ones. This one included the purple variant of Cosmos and a swimsuit version. It looks like for the whole series there might be like 7 or 8 or so, I'm not entirely sure, and they also have some other episodes based figures. Then this next thing is something that I've been wanting to get for quite a while, ever since I played the game. I have raved about this game's soundtrack, and of course I love my amazing video game soundtracks, so I had to grab the soundtrack for Nier Automata, and this is a 3-disc version. There's a couple different versions. There was I think a 2-disc, an arranged version. There's one that comes with like the hacking versions of songs, but yeah, super stoked to grab this. And then this one was, again, kind of super random. Showed up for super cheap, so I was like, you know, I gotta have it. Surprised that I didn't already have it at this point. I actually watched these when they used to air on TV in the early 90s, and that is The Legend of Zelda, the animated series, and this is the complete show. This is a single disc version, but apparently there's also kind of a cardboard like digipack that has multiple discs that actually is a really cool presentation. But, you know, adding a little bit of that classic video game cartoons to the collection, especially for this legendary series, no pun intended, you know, happy to oblige. Then this next one was one I was actually looking for a different series of these movies, and stumbled across this. Crazy cheap again. I think this might have been an Amazon add-on, but that is the Street Fighter Alpha 2-pack. Includes the Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter Alpha Generations animes. I was originally looking for the original Street Fighter animated movies, which are supposed to be really awesome. I've actually never seen them. Decided to grab this while I was at it, so I'm still hunting for those, but, you know, add this to the collection. And I hear these ones are pretty decent, not as good as the original Street Fighter animes, but I can't say yet. I haven't watched them. Then the last thing here was something that was too cool not to pick up. I haven't opened this yet, so don't judge me too hard, but I decided to pick up the Oregon Trail little video game machine. Basically, the Oregon Trail was an educational game that was available in the late 80s, early 90s, kind of ended up everywhere. If you were fortunate to be one of those schools that were first getting in like the Apple II computers, you could play the Oregon Trail after you finished your spelling homework or something like that, or history homework, which is what I got to do. I always got my homework done as fast as I could, mostly in second grade for me, so I could go down to the library and play Oregon Trail and Number Munchers and some of those other games. And what's really neat with this is the full Oregon Trail game. Same display, just a little display as you can see. And of course, if nobody has played it, I would definitely recommend checking out Oregon, Organ Trail. It is basically a zombified version of the Oregon Trail, which is actually getting a limited run release here, which I am super excited about. So yes, that is it for this pickup video. Of course, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts on some of these games, some of these movies, soundtracks, figures. Let me know your thoughts. Any really cool pickups that you've had lately? What about some random stuff like these retro revival kind of games, like especially with this Oregon Trail? This is like one of the more high quality ones. I've seen some little mini arcade machines. I think Smash JT reviewed a few that turned out to be pretty disappointing, and this is like pretty high quality for what you get for what you pay for. Kind of light on the pickups this time, but there is some pretty awesome new stuff coming out here in the next couple months that I'm really looking forward to. Going to MGC, so I'll be picking up a lot of retro stuff while I'm there. So you can probably expect the next pickup video to be a little obscene. Then lastly, what are some new games coming out here soon that you are looking forward to? Let me know your thoughts. Well, then as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time on The Game Grinder.